What is up, guys? As you can see, it is time for my once a month upload, and you know, a lot of you have been going like, Josh, what have you been doing? What's going on? Where is the turbo videos? What's up with that? Yeah, what's up with that? Unfortunately, I am not a very wealthy man. I'm not rich as large as my YouTube channel is, as you know, crazy sky high as the views that I get are. Yeah, look, regardless of how cheap this is relative to buying a whole new car, a turbo build is a little bit expensive. Whoo! Out of the way. This chair is very short. So, the turbo build, what's happening? Well, I have all the parts, but I have reached the point that a lot of people do whenever they start modifying their cars, where I have made a plan of what it is that I want, and once I have, you know, gotten the parts I need to achieve that plan, I kind of go, oh, well, it's only a little bit more to go a bit further. Oh, it's only a little bit more again to go a bit further again and again and again. And so that's kind of where we're at right now. In theory, if I wanted to start slapping parts on, take my engine out today, yeah, I could do that. I could do that for sure. But so I've kind of reached this point now where it's like, well, I've got all this stuff. It's not much more to push the build a bit further. So why don't I just do that? And don't worry, I know what you're about to say. Hey, that wasn't the original plan. I just want to, you know, slap a turbo on and get a basic, you know, turbo build out of my NA, and that's okay. What I plan to do isn't gonna be so much different from what would have otherwise happened. All of this stuff is still, you know, pretty easy, relatively speaking, to do, and it's all, you know, still very affordable. I've just aimed a little bit higher. I'm going to be aiming a little bit higher than what I plan to do. So anyway, what have we got? What stuff have we got? Intercooler piping, yay. This is obviously not all of it, yeah, just this one bit, you know, but I didn't want to have to carry a whole heap of it up here. So intercooler piping, number one. Might actually end up getting some nice, you know, mandrel bent piping instead of the stock plastic stuff, now that, you know, I'm doing things a little bit differently. And obviously the intercooler, I don't have the intercooler here because it's currently on the car. I actually put it in to film episode 2 of the turbo build, because when you try and fit the intercooler into the NA, where the intercooler actually has to go is where the power steering cooler is. So you have to move that, you have to relocate that, and so I did a bit of experimenting and found that it's nowhere near as dramatic as a lot of people make it out to be. You don't actually have to get new cooling lines or anything like that. It is possible to move the standard power steering cooler without it being too overboard. So I filmed that, and then I didn't like the quality of the footage. I thought it was kind of shitty and was not good enough to make a video and upload it on the channel. So I'm going to have to pull the intercooler out and put the power steering cooler back where it came from, and yeah, redo the whole filming, the whole thing. So fun, but most important thing is that there's actually a decent quality video for people who want to actually see, you know, what's happening, what's going to happen. So intercooler currently in the car, but again, only a stock one. I might go with something a little bit better, especially if I can get my hands on something, you know, bigger, for sure. Fuel rail, just a standard fuel rail. It'll do me for what I plan to do. No big deal. But yeah, standard fuel rail doesn't cost very much. I think this only cost me $100 at the time. You know, COVID prices and all that, which is the interesting thing with all of this. And to go with the fuel rail, we've got pressure regulator. Lovely. Go fast bits. Go fast bits. Hey guys, you want to send me a little DM, little DM. Anyway, we've got the exhaust manifold. Lovely exhaust manifold. It's a bit, you know, dirty, as you'd expect, but standard exhaust manifold. This will work fine for what I plan on doing. So let's see, what we're talking about, fuel pump, 46.5 fuel pump, E85, all good, E85 capable. this sucker should drop straight into the into where the standard fuel pump goes. MAP sensor. So this is very important. So you can still use the NA MAP sensor, but this is a BF 2-bar MAP sensor. So the FG has a different plug on the turbo MAP sensor, so you can't just plug a FG turbo MAP sensor in. You can certainly you know, pin it out, take the pins out and rewire it, and that's all good. If you know how to do that, happy days. We're just going for the easy option because, again, 2-bar is all that I'm going to need for what I want to do. So BF sensor, plug straight in. Beautiful. What else have we got? We got another Go Fast Bits. Yeah, Go Fast Bits. Yeah, hey guys. So what the hell is this one? Let's have a look. Oh my goodness, there's more than one box. There's a box in a box. Oh, I can just, you know. Oh, fuel pressure regulator. If I... Hey, yo. Oh. Oh, damn. There we go. There we go. Fuel pressure regulator. Lovely. Important because we'll be running more fuel and we're going to need to be able to actually regulate that, I guess, is the term that I'm looking for. But NA1 will not do the job. It'll do the job to a certain point. Again, with all of this stuff, the NA parts will do the job up to a certain point, but we're aiming to push it past that point. So you certainly can just continue using the NA fuel rail and pressure regulator, all that sort of stuff, but you're going to bottleneck very quickly. Compared to if you just splash out on the, you know, I don't remember how much I paid for this, but it wasn't much, you know. Go Fast Bits are very affordable. They're very affordable, good quality stuff, especially for what you get. Since we're still talking about Go Fast Bits stuff, here we've got the boost controller. What? I'm very tired. I've had a long night, so if I name things incorrectly initially, which I think I did with the pressure gauge. Did I call the pressure gauge a regulator and then pull the regulator out immediately afterwards? But anyway, electronic boost controller. Hey, that's very slick. I really like how that looks. Unless of course you swap to a turbo PCM and rewire with a turbo PCM, because you won't have this in an NA1, obviously. And that's totally a valid option. So long as you've got, remember, if you've got a ZF, there's all that nonsense with the gearboxes and the TCM and the PCM matching and things like that. Or you can get them reprogrammed. There are people that can do it. It's really interesting. After I released the video on swapping the ZF, I got a whole bunch of people come out of the woodworks going, oh, actually, no, yeah, I can program a PCM to a TCM. They don't need to be matching. I got the capability to do that. Couldn't find them before I did the job, but once I released that video, suddenly a whole heap of them came out. What's this one? What's this nondescript box we got here? Ooh, injectors. We got injectors. All right, so 1000cc injectors. Yep. I decided, well, the difference between, you know, 650 or 750 or whatever the smaller option that I was given was, the difference between those and this was very insignificant, was nominal. So I went, well, we'll go with 1000. And then that's kind of part of what led to, well, we've got all of these parts that are, you know, overrated for what I wanted to do, and we've got the capacity to go higher, and so now we kind of are. But injectors, you're definitely gonna have injectors. I should have named those, I should have done those while I was doing the other fuel stuff. So what's next? What's this we got? Okay, propans. This will be the valve springs. Some nice, ooh, nice heavy duty, strong valve springs. Ooh, can only squish it a little bit with my hand. Okay. Oh no, it's broken. Wouldn't that be ironic if I just dropped this, this stuff that was, you know, made for high pressure vehicle applications, and just dropping it was enough to destroy it. Very important, because if you don't have strong enough valve springs, then you're going to end up with valve float and all that sort of nonsense. And they really don't cost much either. They really don't. This is one of those things that I would say you absolutely need to change these if you're going to try and turbo the NA Barra. Boundary, pump gears, and backing plate. You guys might have seen my video recently from Dominator and their new pump gears and backing plate. Again, these things are super cheap to get. Pump gears, beautiful. Super cheap to get, and while you're there, why wouldn't you change them? Why wouldn't you upgrade them and just have that peace of mind of, and there's my backing plate, lovely. And just have that peace of mind of, hey, at least I know that when I'm limmy bashing my now turboed FG down the street, I'm not going to shatter some pump gears. We've got here atomic timing kits. Oh, beautiful. So guides, and then we've got down the bottom here, nice new heavy duty timing chain. Timing chain. You don't have to do it, but and it's not a thing that's necessary to do for a turbo conversion. Absolutely not. This is what I'm doing because it's kind of a, well, to do the pump gears, you've got to take the timing cover off and take the timing chain and stuff off. So why not change it while you're there, and then have that peace of mind that it's strong enough and that it's new enough to actually withstand the abuse you're about to give it. Because let's be honest, let's be real here. You might say that you're gonna turbo it and still drive like a granny, but we know you're not. You're not. Stop lying to me, stop lying to your friends, and most importantly, stop lying to yourself. Head studs, what can I say about head studs? I actually really don't have anything to say. I don't have anything to rant about there. Oil and water feed and return lines. These are an absolute must, obviously, and you're gonna have to tap this stuff into your sump and blah, 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 blah. We'll get to all of that when we actually do it. Unless, of course, you change over your stuff from it to... Anyway, point being, lines are needed. These are obviously nice, fancy braided ones, speed flow ones. These are thanks to Maculec. Thank you for sponsoring the build. Brilliant stuff. Also, he threw in this beautiful little, hang on, beautiful little cut holder. Nice little, I don't know if you can see it properly in the, when I do the zoom in, I think it might be too bright. This room is, I've made sure to light the room really well because it's a little bit overcast today outside, but beautiful little holder for the lines as well. Oh. Ants has not sponsored the build, but I have this sitting around from previous video. We got ourselves a nice battery reload and turbo side intake. That's the one. Couldn't remember the word for battery for a second there. That's a bit disturbing. As I said, I'm a bit tired, but not necessary. Again, not the most important thing. You can totally just have everything, you know, done up from factory, but I had it lying around, so why wouldn't I put it in? And then finally, my Cowabunga brand turbo. So of course we can all make jokes about, Chinese brand turbos and whatever else, blah blah blah. But actually, I have a few friends who have run this exact brand for years on fairly high horsepower cars, and they actually do just fine. They last just the same as any other brand. So I was like, well, screw it. These guys actually had stock when I ordered last year at the height of the COVID lockdowns. So this is what I went with because this is all that there was in stock. Gen 2 3582R, $2,000, I think it was, brand new, and it comes with, you know, V-band adapter, and it comes with all the oil and water lines and all sorts of stuff as you would, you know, all sorts of stuff that you want, but you're not going to get just buying a, you know, second-hand Garrett off of Facebook. And of course, the fact that it's brand new, so I know that it hasn't been flogged yet. let's see how I go after it's put in. So this one is as you can see, I haven't opened it yet, so it might be a bit hard with the lighting. This is an internally gated turbo, all just a complete swap for factory, basically. This is ones that Kinagawa Australia have as just listed under Barra. There you go. And then that's all I can think of. There's exhaust, dump pipe and exhaust, however you want to tackle that business, and that'll obviously depend on what kind of manifold you're using, what your what your turbo setup and what your manifold setup is, whether or not you have, like me, an exhaust catback that you want to keep using or not in the future, and spark plugs obviously. I think I mentioned exactly the ones that we're going to be using in the previous video, but other than that, that's everything. So all of this, I could start strapping it on tomorrow, and we could turbo the FG, and it doesn't take long. I have a friend who just turboed his NA+FG. It does not have anywhere near as much done to it right now, which I think actually shows that, yeah, you really don't have to spend much money. He spent much less than $10,000, including labor and the tune, to get his FG turboed and back on the road. So I think that's important to know. I'll do a video of his FG in the future, but I think that's an important thing to keep in mind. This stuff does not have to cost much. Even right now during COVID, when we've got such high prices for car parts and such short supply on brand new stuff like this, it's still cheaper to turbo the NA+FG than it is to buy a whole new XR6 turbo. For God's sake, look at the prices people are demanding for XR6 turbos on Facebook right now. I've been trying to do the math and work out how anyone could claim it's cheaper to just buy the whole new car when people want $30,000 for an XR6 turbo, and for less than 10 you can buy all this stuff. You can buy a gearbox for $1,000 still, even now with COVID. Buy a high horsepower rated tail shaft. Standard brakes don't cost much. Everybody always comes in, what about the brakes? You shut the fuck up. Like, XR6 turbo brakes don't cost much. They don't cost much. Why do people bring that up like it's such a big deal? Turbo gearbox and turbo brakes they're chump change, really. If you're spending this kind of money, or you've got the money to buy a whole new car, they don't cost much. It doesn't even factor in. This stuff and like the turbo and stuff like that is the most expensive part of doing this. It's, yeah, by far, $2,000. I think this is the most I spent on one item out of everything here, and I think will still be, even after the other stuff I want to do, will be the most expensive. In the last year since I started buying parts, enough people have shown that you can turbo the NA+FG and you can make plenty of power. It's just about how much boost you're trying to run. Just don't put so much pressure on the rods and the pistons. They're not going to break. Yes, they're thinner. The rods are thinner than the XR6 turbo ones, but it's not so much that it's the end of the world as soon as you slap 5 pounds of boost, just not that big of a deal. So my thought process is, I've gotten so much stuff already. It's less than $1,000 for new rods. I might look at cams, I might look at a few other things, definitely getting a girdle and stuff like that. Some, important stuff to help the reliability and longevity of the engine. And I'm considering whacking it up and trying to produce a somewhat high horsepower FG out of this. And really, at the end of the day, it's still gonna cost me less than if I had bought a whole new XR6. So we'll see how we go, because even if somehow, after seeing all of these people, recently who have turboed NA+FGs and they work just fine, if there are still people out there who think it can't be done, I don't care. I don't care about them anymore. I don't care about proving them wrong. This project was originally to prove those people wrong and to show people who are interested in how to do this. So now all I care about is showing people how to do this and to make myself happy building the car I want to build. So I'm going to take things a little bit further than what I originally planned to do, but I still plan to show you guys exactly how to do all of this, turbo the NA+FG, make it fast, make it fun, make it good and reliable, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.